Hey, folks, it's a Jeff Thitoff show. I'm Jeff Thitoff, Tito, at That Happens on Twitter. This guy, defensive tackle. He was a Rose Bowl champion, NFL. What else am I missing here? Big, lovable guy. Anything else? Am I forgetting anything else there?
Yeah. I could listen. I'm the crossover between grizzly, black bear.
Okay.
Right. And if you cross me, if I go there, I can turn into the grizzly bear.
All right. Just everyone know, he said black bear, not me. I didn't say, don't cancel me. I just said lovable.
Hashtag can. No, I'm just teasing. Not the cocaine bear, but the grizzly bear. I ain't gonna go that far.
Big show lineup for you today here. We're going to be here for the next hour or so. Go to fantasysports.com. Check out the new website. Lots of NFL and college football to talk about, even with the Buckeyes off this weekend. And we'll start quickly about Nick Mangold, former Buckeye, played back in the early 2000s, part of that national championship team, long-time NFL career. And he's on the list right now. He's one of those, I think, semifinalists for Hall of Fame induction. We'll see if that happens. Nick Mangold, though, passed away suddenly at the age of 41 this weekend. Sunday morning, the news came out for that one. On my show I did earlier today with Bobby on the fan, Bobby Carpenter's former teammate and friend. If you want to go back and look at it, I'll tweet out the segment, though. We did a long talk about Nick Mangold. And interesting, 11 days ago, he comes out and talks about his need for a kidney transplant. And
wow.
And just 11 days later now, he's passed away. And I remember, like, the last time somebody who I knew had something like that going on, it was Aaron Portzline, who covers the Blue Jackets, and he came out with a need for that, and they found a donor. But it was a thing where I think it may have been 7 or 8 months later after he's expressed his need for a donor that it came through for him. It's like, when I heard the Mangold news, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they'll find something. He'll be around. We got plenty of time here because what happened with Portzline.
It's almost casual.
Yes. And it was like, terrible. We're going to find a donor for him. It'll happen. Somebody will you match. And so I was shocked to hear the news. Bobby, though, spoke very passionately, very emotionally about Nick Mangold, though. And Jimmy, I'll tie us back with you because like I told Bobby, I never met Nick Mangold. And so my avenue for knowing who Nick Mangold was off the field was through someone like Bobby.
Absolutely.
And I wonder if you also feel when it comes to because there's obviously, look, I know you, I don't know all of your teammates, haven't met a lot of them, but do you feel a responsibility or it's wrong, obligation, but do you feel like it's important for you to tell other people who don't know your former teammates about them as people?
I don't think it's an obligation, but I like to be incredibly honest about things. Mm-hmm. And so in my day, Corey Stringer was that guy.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I can remember I had gotten back from, I think, playing in San Diego. I was working at the GM plant in Lordstown, got a call from LaShawn Daniels literally that morning. I worked third shift, and I pulled off to the side of the road, and he just said, man, Jim, Corey gone. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit, kind of messed me way up. Like, I'd never been back to work. Like, it was crazy. It was like to mess me up. But Corey was that guy. But he was, and it's funny because he was, I know him and Nick are two totally different personalities, but the legacy of their existence, you can almost feel who he was based upon how you hear other people talk about him.
Right.
And this is before he passed.
Sure.
So Corey was the same way. You'd run across people who knew Corey, and they would talk about him extremely honest. Corey was just an incredible people person. He loved people. He had one of those E. Gordon Gee, Coach Trussell memories.
Sure.
Where if he met you once, he wouldn't see you for 8 years. And he'd almost be offended, like that you didn't. Some of my homies would see him like, hey, I'm Jimmy's buddy. He'd be like, dude, I know you are.
I know you are. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So yes, but that's your legacy. I always, when I go across the country sharing, that's what I tell people. When your legacy is how you'll be remembered.
Right.
And that's why I try to live a very, very consistent lifestyle, because the one thing I hope is that people will talk about me accurately according to, the love that I've permeated through. And so that was Nick, because again, I've never met the kid either.
Sure.
But if you think about it, he's one of those Ohio staples, but he's a center.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember hearing his voice. I have no idea what it sounds like. Bobby imitated his voice saying, I was like, that's the first time I heard somebody imitate Nick's voice.
Absolutely. But when you hear about Nick Mangold, and again, this is before he even passed.
Yeah.
You heard about and you thought about Nick as one of the good guy, like the really good guys. Like, let me tell you about Nick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Nick Mangold. But the Corey Stringer was very, very similar. Let me tell you about Corey.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So, yeah, I wondered about that because, the same way, and I was talking about this today during the show and on the chat that I did during the YouTube part of it, but I was like, all these people, myself included, like I remember being very affected by Corey Stringer's death, never met him. I was very affected, and the people in the chat talking about Nick Mangold, thoughts and prayers to family, all those things, and Bobby, so sorry about your loss. All of those things were coming out, and it just reinforced to me, and not to get all sappy, but how powerful the connection between this community and even beyond this community, this country, and Ohio State football is. It's like, because never met Nick Mangold. I'm there tearing up on the air, talking about it, hearing Bobby talk about it. Right, it was affecting me and affecting people who were watching and listening to the show. And never met Corey Stringer. It affected me. Yeah. It's like, just because of how much Ohio State fans get invested emotionally with this program.
Absolutely.
And the legacy of it.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you guys, I'm not going to say you people, you guys damn near walk on water when it comes to Ohio State fans. You know what I mean? And so it's very interesting to me. I don't know if it's like that with Alabama or Texas. I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but
definitely from the Buckeye perspective, it's that way. I always tell people, even the young homies who didn't get an opportunity to play in the league and all this other stuff, they kind of deal with things a different way. I'm like, no, man. I said, the fact that you came through, you put bricks on this campus. And when it comes to fandom, it's just something very particular about Ohio State. No one really cares the fact that you participated gives you a cachet. Whereas as far as the league and other places, they want to know your name. Like, what's your name? What did you do? Da, da, da. But if you happen to play, it doesn't matter. If you're popular, it doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't. Someone can literally walk around and say, man, I was on the team. I did this, I did that. And someone has a connection. That's why I always tell these fans, and I tell y'all right now, like, be critical. And I always tell people this in life, man, be critical. You don't even have to like what other people do, but watch your mouth.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You see what
be
I'm saying?
Respectful.
Be respectful, baby.
Yes, yeah.
Great word. Be respectful.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's going to come back and sometimes you don't even realize the connection that you have to people until you have to think about, man, what were some of the things that I said when it came to me being a fan?
Hey.
What stance did I take being a fan? And now I have to own it and eat it, and then you're going to have to deal with those things. Listen, be critical.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with everything. You don't even have to like it, but understand that these are young men, kids.
Sure.
Some of them are young adults, right? Even the coaches and such, man. These dudes are husbands, fathers, uncles, sons.
Yeah, right.
Be respectful, be pissed, be mad, be critical, be all of that. But some of this nasty vitriol that we've gotten into in our modern sports media, just the modern sports fandom, not media. Again, someone passes away, it happens. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? But you don't want to be on that other side, like thinking, like, damn, I was the shitty person.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Jimmy, it all changed. Where it flipped for me had to be mid-20s, early 20s, mid-20s. And Cooper's at Ohio State. Yeah. Randy Ayers at Ohio State.
Yeah, wow.
Okay. Now, and Randy Ayers was on the downside. Okay. Like, he had a couple of rough years.
Was coming up.
Right. And so I was constantly among my friends and stuff, God, Ayers sucks, man. Hey, Cooper sucks. Like, we're ripping. Like, not media wise, just like amongst friends and stuff like that. And my boss at the time, John Self, big time donor, and he said, let's go for a ride. We go for a ride. And he takes me to Ohio State. And he introduces me to Ayers, and we sit in Ayers' office and talk about 20 minutes. Introduces me to Cooper, sitting there for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, these guys are damn nice. These are good people. I'm like, what the hell? So, like, I still critical, but at that point, I became more respectful.
You're like, dang, I'm a dick.
Yeah, I know. It's like, this guy's a nut. Ayers acted like
super nice.
I'm nobody. And he's like, shakes my hand, looks me in the eye. We have a conversation about basketball. Same thing with Cooper. It's like, I'm in with Cooper's office, and all I'm thinking of, God, Michigan, we're losing a bowl game. But I sit there and talk like, he's not losing on purpose. They're both trying their best to win games. They're not blowing this because of me, but man, it changed things for me.
It's easy to set down your humanity,
right?
But you're responsible for it being picked back up, and that's the tough part. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm always telling people, just be mindful, be respectful. You can be critical, but never let anything come before your humanity. Is because like you said, that's crazy. Even that you're admitting up to it. Dude, I was one of them dudes.
Yes.
And now I'm literally meeting the guy like, I got a relationship. Not like, shit. Yeah. Should I tell him I used to shit?
I'm gonna let it go. Right. So another weekend of college football. And another big-time firing. LSU has fired Brian Kelly. He is due. They're negotiating still the $54 million buyout. It is not all payable at once. He gets $800,000 a month, Jimmy. Tough, I know. Tough for $800,000 a month until they pay it all off. And they got the same offset language in his deal as Franklin did, James Franklin at Penn State, where if he gets another job, he can make less in the buyout because of that. So obviously LSU is hoping Brian Kelly gets another job. And Bodie Wells, my producer, brought this up today, and it makes a lot of sense. Curt Cignetti is causing coaches to get fired inadvertently because I think that people look at it and say, look, if Indiana can do that with a guy like that who has no Power 4 coaching experience, but look at what they can do if they get the right guy. We don't have the right guy. We're going to go out and find the next Curt Cignetti. Okay, two parts. Okay, that's one part of it. The other part, and this is my own idea, that LSU, it was easier for LSU to fire Brian Kelly because Penn State fired Franklin. Penn State fires Franklin. Look at what he did over there. Like, he had a great record, could win the big ones, obviously. But because Penn State said, we're going to move on from Franklin now, I think it's easier for LSU to say, we got to move on. We can move on from Kelly.
Okay. This is all this. There's a little more nuance to me to this.
Okay.
Your theory isn't way off.
Okay.
Except when you deal with Big Brian, it's almost hard to have that conversation because him as the placebo stinks. His career, he has so many weird blemishes on his career that kind of makes you consider, man, is this dude a good dude? Or are you a good dude? Are you not a good dude?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And you got to understand this too. LSU, and I've been on the record saying this for years. Hands down, take these stars and everything off the table.
Okay.
The best talent year in and year out is LSU.
Okay.
Because they're able to get these kids that no one knows about. They may not get starred up, but you gotta be awarded and afforded to get starred up. You gotta go to the camp. You gotta do this. You gotta do. If you can't, man, they get these dudes from New Orleans, that's surrounding Texas area, that's surrounding Alabama, these swamps, these trailer parks, these dudes be freakazoid legends in these little towns that no one knows about. And they get those guys. There's two teams, if I was a betting man, that I never, ever, I did it last week, and I didn't bet, but I put out I said LSU's going to make amends. They're going to get to Texas A&M.
Right.
Boom. And I knew better. Bro, because there's two teams I always say, if you're a betting man, never put your money on, they'll disappoint you.
Yeah.
LSU and Virginia Tech.
Okay.
I don't care what people think.
Right.
Them dudes will let you down. So part of that is Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Coach Franklin, I think, and we all feel, and I think it was true, there was a little bit more nuance to him getting fired too. Penn State made a choice between the donor and doing the right thing. The right thing was let the guy finish out the season. It didn't matter.
Yep.
Now I'm looking at the money, the donors, and they wanted Adidas to make an Adidas move, an Adidas deal, what ended up being true.
Yeah.
Whether it came from an alumni or not, but that deal, them closing that multi-million-dollar deal, had a lot to do with the fact that they just didn't want Kurt Franklin. He said Kurt
I know,
Franklin.
but I think I called him Ryan Franklin earlier. It's James Franklin. I think I may have called him Ryan Franklin. I'm not sure. Yes.
Love, the word that comes and goes. I made him a choir director, Kurt Franklin. What the heck am I doing? Who be gyrating?
That's on the after show.
But James Franklin. So, but I do like that concept though, and you're right. Now, I think more than anything, and again, even the guys who have gotten fired, whether I agree with it or not, some of it's been justified. James, I think the expectation was inaccurate.
Okay.
And he didn't meet it. LSU, they should have never hired Brian Franklin anyway. That falls within that Rich Rodriguez hire.
Okay.
Up there.
Yeah.
To me. So, and I just always been, in my opinion, I've been honest about that. That's when I knew I was right about. Soon as it happened, just like Rich Rod, I said, "Oh, I'm smarter than everybody on this." They're tripping.
Brian Kelly came out and did the whole Southern twang thing, my family, and all that stuff. He tried to force his way into it. Did not work.
Hey, bro, he's weird, bro. And I'm trying to be nice. That dude has done some weird, like from Cincinnati, how he left to Notre Dame and trying to cover up the kid's death.
Yeah.
To literally the dude got the job.
Yeah.
And start twanging.
I know. All of a sudden, I know. He's from Boston.
Listen, I said, listen. I'm a sociology and a psychology major, and there's a lot of things I read about in these books,
right?
And he fits a lot of these categories, bro. And I'm sitting here like, when my last straw was with him, was when he got on there and start talking what he thought people from the Bayou talk like. Right. I said, this dude has no shame.
Yeah.
I will say and do and jig to get whatever I need in life, buddy. And I'm going to always come out on top. So some of that, I'm with you. But again, some of it is, man, it's the expectations that were put on all of these people were off. Now, he's making people anxious for sure.
Sure.
He's making them anxious. But the firing part for these particular ones is just tough because they made it that way.
So LSU's job is open. Penn State's job is open. Florida's job is open. Stanford will be open. They've got like a one-year coach, Frank Reichs, and they're doing the one-year thing. So he's not coach long-term. I'm not probably put Stanford in that same group, but there are some big-time jobs that are open. Is LSU the best job that's open?
Oh, man, easy.
By far.
But
okay, what's second? Penn State or Florida? That one I'm not sure on. I think it's Penn State, but like
Jeff, that's a good.
In Florida, you're competing with Florida State and Miami, among other schools, and now USF down there as far as, and even UCF to a certain degree. But there's a lot of competition within the state there.
Yeah, but
in Pennsylvania, you don't have that.
That's not their problem. It's not their problem. So some people may like may not understand what I'm saying, and some of them won't. I don't really care. It is the truth. Across the country, everybody has a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Down south, it's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you have to, whether it's Miami, whether it's these literal swamps, the bayous, there's people, there's lifestyles that some people up here don't have a clue and don't understand. So you got kids that are literally running the household, bro.
Sure. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yep. And I'm not talking poorness necessarily. Some of it is poor, some of it is trailer park, some of it is ghetto, but some of it is a lifestyle thing. So when you deal with some of these kids, it takes up. That's why Bobby Bowden was so. That dude was a saint, bro.
Yeah.
That dude was even Rich.
Sure.
That's Rich's environment.
Yeah.
That's what he did at the university. He helped build Florida State. He took that because they got the same type of players in West Virginia. He just came to Michigan. It was like, homie, bro, like I told you before, I used to give the example. Listen, man, my mama's a judge. Who the hell are you talking to, bro? Like, I don't need, like, I'm fine. I don't need that type of clamping on. So Florida's tough because it's not talent. they could win with the talent they have. Like, and I think people look at their talent and be like, man, you'd be like we talked about earlier today. The guy said, where would Florida be if they had Ohio State's schedule?
Yeah, that's what you mentioned.
Yeah. When you look at it on the field, because you're like, there's no way you should be this bad.
Sure.
It has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with the program. I would probably go with Penn State, bro. I think you have more of an honest okay, check this out. The kids that I get coming in, I have more of an honest opportunity to groom them out.
Okay.
And to get them to buy into my program a little more. Florida's going to be rough, bro. Florida's a rough. That thing is just rough, bro, because you get such an eclectic plethora of and mix and mash. You got to be bro. You got to be slickety nickety, bro. Nick, think about what Nick did. Nobody did what Nick did.
Right.
Period, bro.
Yeah.
11, 12, 15. Man, it's crazy. And but him, he didn't even recruit all the Southern dudes.
Right.
He wasn't a Southern team.
Yeah.
He was a Midwest team playing in the SEC. I tell people that all the time. He did not do that. All the other teams were SEC team, and he pounded them out. Ooh, I'm Penn State, bro.
Okay.
I think you'll get more support, and the support is more than just money. SEC's always throwing the money out there. It's not just the money. I think Florida got enough money too. It's even the brand.
Right.
Penn State has more of a solid foundation of a brand than Florida. Penn State they're closer to being national and international than the Gators are at being regional. Florida is probably stronger regional than Penn State is regional.
Okay.
But when you talk about a national or international program, oh, man, please, hang it up.
Okay.
Penn State got them beat hands down.
When you mentioned, I think you said somebody asked you if Florida had Ohio State's schedule, would they be undefeated right now? Yeah. You mentioned that. Somebody asked you that question. And there was an old saying, and I've heard people talk about this saying and say it was about Bear Bryant. Someone else said it was about Bum Phillips, a longtime Oilers coach who had a lot of success there. But the basic of it was somebody said to Bear Bryant, he will take his team and beat your team, and he will take your team and beat his team. So if you put a Ryan Day or like down at Florida, are they a much better team this year?
Nah.
They're not.
Nah, they need Coach Urban.
Okay. Urban with that team could do much better than what they're doing, talent-wise.
They be in the running. They be in the running. They need a little more. Coach Day's he's perfect for this time, but he's perfect for Ohio State.
He's perfect for Midwest, yes. He's perfect environment here, yes.
Down there, like I said, that's a totally different animal. They need Coach Urban. They need somebody, no nonsense, coming in. Is this way or the highway? He got them fighting and clawing for something. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. A little bit of allowance of being, little dickheads and all of that. But for the most part, hey, man, in between these lines, don't F up.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. I never forget Teddy Ginn, one of the clips that I saw Teddy Ginn. I don't even know how he's such a visionary. This was an old clip. Somebody did a documentary on him. This was before Glenville got really good. Right. He went back home. They showed him coming. They showed him driving his bus, getting off, just taking his tie off, going to practice. So dope. This is years ago. But they were playing a team, and I think they were playing really itty in the first half. Okay. He comes, bro. Coach was Teddy. That's disrespectful. Coach was raw. He said, "Listen, man." He said, "Y'all ain't gonna be an embarrassing me." He said, "You can go back to the ghetto." And now they was in the ghetto, right? Right. You on such and such. You can be a loser. You can It's not happening. You make a choice. Right. Either get out here and fight for your such and such like you should, right, or go back to the streets. Man, they went out there and blew that goddamn team off. You see what I'm saying? Sure, yeah. Like Coach has he like your mean loving granddad. Okay, yeah. That everyone's afraid to go in the house, but they know granddad got my back. You know right? Yeah, sure, yeah. That's what Florida needs. They don't need no people person coach.
Sure, right.
They need somebody that's just not going to play.
We got our games coming up this week in college football, and then next week is when the first CFP rankings come out, and we'll see where teams stand. And I heard it was Heather Dinich, I think, on ESPN said that she believes if Ohio State and Alabama both win out, Alabama should be the number one team in the CFP because of the schedule they've played versus Ohio State's. And I look at that, and yes, Alabama's played a very tough schedule. But there's a lot of pressure on a team after winning a national championship. Come back, a lot of new players, no doubt about it. But still, Ohio State is also right now, they have not played as tough a schedule as Alabama has. You know what Ohio State has played, though? They've played Ohio State. They played last year's Ohio State team all year long so far because that's what everyone compares it to. And so ultimately it won't matter if you're 1 or 2. It'll make a difference who you play and all that. But anyway, you got to win all your playoff games anyway. And if you're 1 or 2, 1 and 2, in theory, should meet for the championship if they take care of their business. Alabama's got the one blemish on their record, the loss for State. They look damn good since then, and they've got a lot of tough games coming. They've won a lot of big games, more big games coming up. They were on the ropes this past weekend. I have a hard time, though, thinking that Ohio State, if they run the table, that means they're going to beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship game in all likelihood, which means it'll be a 1 versus 2 game. I have a hard time seeing Ohio State not being the number one team if they win out.
Okay. Now I'm going to be super fair. If it was all about the numbers, and it should be, that's how that's why I love the 12.
Yep.
Listen, pay to play. Like you play it out on the field. The better team should win. I'm not an underdog guy. The better team should always win.
Right.
Because they should prepare that way. They should respect the fact that they're better.
Right.
Alabama doesn't have an argument for number one if they went out because they lost. You have a one-loss team shouldn't be ahead of anybody who doesn't have a loss.
Sure.
Say Alabama was undefeated, then they should. Their schedule's better. They should be a number one team. They should be the number one. That doesn't mean that I think they're better than Ohio State. I think they just deserve it of that space based upon their schedule. If you ask me who's the better team, though,
right?
So now we're in that room with the Secretary of States and and
Condoleezza Rice or whatever in there.
Yeah, and the fry guy at Long John Silver's who makes the little Krispies. Trying to figure out who is the best. So then I'm gonna say, I think Ohio State's the better team. Some of that nuance is, that's not people still are giving Alabama credit for being Nick Saban's Alabama, and they're just not. What you're seeing is University of Washington.
Yeah.
When they made their run.
Right. And they played Michigan.
Two totally different teams, right? They just look a certain way because they're Alabama.
Sure.
All of these other teams, the SEC is not, and SEC has never been a strong conference. SEC has had Alabama. Y'all need to stop this, man. Y'all need to stop this madness. The SEC hasn't been consistently, it's been Bama and then whoever else is going to show their face. And I'll give Georgia 3 years with the new homie. But if they went out, and that's your question, it's Ohio State because they don't have a loss. Let's just say, again, like I said, if Bama was undefeated, I'd give it to Bama. I'd give it to the schedule guy. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, if Bama was undefeated, yes, I would say it also.
If Bama was undefeated, based upon the schedule.
Right.
But even the look test, and I know what people think. They think Alabama looks a certain way, but they're not putting the nuance in there. Listen, they're not a strong team. They're an athletic team.
Okay.
They're an offensive-minded team, very similar to Washington. You remember I sat here and was like, man, this conversation is ridiculous, man. Y'all need to stop with this stuff. Yeah, but Jim, they can't, bro. If they do, we suck. Like, we look like we're Missouri in the bowl game. We suck. We are not who we said they were. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Bro, Alabama, they're giving up how many points a game?
Look,
they're not strong. People think they're strong because they're winning these games 50-60 and 70-85, and they poured it out. And I'm like, there's nothing strong and solid about them.
it's going to be interesting. So, in the top 9 teams in the country, you've got 5 SEC right now in the rankings, 3 Big Ten, and then Georgia Tech's the other one in there. They're undefeated. A&M and Alabama on a collision course for the SEC championship game. Like I said, Ohio State and Indiana. And Ohio State, yes, I agree. If Ohio State and Alabama both have one loss or are both undefeated, it would change things as far like I think Ohio State and Alabama, or Alabama would probably get the nod if they were both undefeated, and Alabama would probably get the nod if they both have one loss. But when you look at it now, and that's part's hard about this is when you talk about, there's best team, there's also most deserving team, and everyone's got opinions how they do that. You can say Ohio State, if they go undefeated, they're the most deserving team to be number 1.
Easy.
But you can also, somebody else make the argument that Alabama's a better team. I disagree with that, but some people will say it, though. Or A&M. A&M's played a tough schedule, too. They had to beat Notre Dame. And Notre Dame's a good team. I know. They'll be in the playoff. They have 2 losses. But it'll be interesting to see, though, how people, and just like it's the same way people, when you judge most valuable player in a league, it's like who's real. Like LeBron's the most valuable player every single year with the Cavs. He didn't win it every year, but he was the most valuable player. And people say, well, no, it might be the best player on the best team. All these different opinions fall into that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they do this with the playoff, though, and how much brand recognition plays into this. Because, like I said, there's 5 SEC teams right now in the top 9. You got Vanderbilt at 9, Ole Miss 7, Georgia 5, Alabama 4, A&M 3. The 3 Big Ten teams: Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Oregon 6. Indiana, I still contend, has the best win in college football this year. Their win against Oregon on the road there. I think that's the best win of the season in college football. But all it could change in the next few weeks with some of the games that are coming up. But Ohio State and Indiana, they take care of business 1 versus 2. I think the winner of that game ends up being the number 1 seed overall when it's all said and done.
Yeah. It's a good team. That again, I knew this would happen, and I love it. I knew once Slickety Nickety left, it would create this kind of different type of parody. Now, he just so happens to leave, and now we had NIL in the mix too, right? And transfer portal being more prevalent based upon the NIL, which I think again puts Ohio State in the driver's seat when it comes to consistency, when it comes to strength, when it comes to what do you call it? When it comes to the foundation of tradition, and it's not just transactional about the money,
right?
But it happened last year, bro. We looked a certain way. I told everybody, I said I wasn't even scared, bro. I promise you. The only team that I needed to see us play was Tennessee. And it had nothing to do with how good Tennessee was and weren't. Tennessee had the well-roundedness that I thought we needed to see in one team. And if we beat them, there was no one else in the whole tournament that could beat us. They ran the ball well.
Yeah.
They made big plays. Their defense was supposed to be super. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They looked the part. And I promise you, it's documented. I said, if we struggle against Tennessee, then we haven't earned who we really were.
Yeah.
I said, but who we really are is going to be based upon that Tennessee game. And I promise you, I said that. If we got past Tennessee, I knew we would win the whole thing. We were the best team in the country last year from the first game to the last. It doesn't matter what we won or lost on paper.
Right.
That's why the Penn State game. Now, you want to know what type of game concerns me is Penn State, because they haven't lost the players.
No,
the same expectation that people had of Penn State based on paper.
Yeah.
Them mofos ain't left with because Franklin. They ain't boycotting. We're not playing. Bring Franklin back. Them is the same homies on the team. And all they got to do is show up for one, minus the quarterback.
Drew Allett, that's a big loss there, yes.
That's for them, it's a huge loss. At least it appears to be such a huge loss. Bro, one game.
And I asked Carp this question. I loved his answer to it. It could be a trap game if it weren't for Jim Knowles. There is such a focus, I think, for this team because Jim Knowles is on the other side there, you're coaching the defense. I think it's not that Ohio State wouldn't be focused already, but there's an added importance right now for Ohio State in this game to expose Penn State's defense. And I think they're going to try to do it. I think like if Penn State comes in, no head coach gone and, starting quarterback gone, then Ohio State might overlook them. I don't think there's any way that Ohio State's coaching staff will let Ohio State have any kind of overlooked trap game feel this weekend.
What is the deal? If they do it to prove coach knows any of that, then they will get trapped. Because now you're not playing to win, you're playing for something totally different.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure, that's fair.
So now you're literally going to be, you think you're focused, but you're not.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And we talked about this earlier this year. They're playing against themselves.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that I didn't think that Washington would be that trap game or the other ones is because the attitude of the fellas, I didn't even see the problem. They don't even know what that means.
Right.
Does that make sense? All they know, my opportunity, playing for the homie next to me, giving everything I got in the classroom, not the classroom, but in film study, in preparation, and in play. So they are battling against themselves. Again, don't make it about, because you're going to play into Coach knows. If you try to do a chess match against him in particular, don't even give him that cachet to think that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Make
it about doing what you've been doing all year, and let's go get it. Soon as you turn that thing into a Coach knows thing, I think you give Coach knows the advantage.
Washington's at Kansas City tonight in the NFL to wrap up the week, and on Monday Night Football they're playing tonight. And what a weird week it was in the NFL. The Bengals took on the winless Jets in Cincinnati. The Bengals coming off the win over the Steelers that they had the previous week and had all this time to prepare for it. What is more surprising to you? The Jets beating the Bengals is scoring 39 points, 39-38 over. Is that more surprising to you, or the Cincinnati beating Pittsburgh the previous week? Which one's a bigger surprise?
Okay, neither. This is why. I'm saying
okay,
it's true. Well, Pittsburgh's defense, and I'm a fan. Pittsburgh fan. Our defense, for some reason, has been lazy this year, and I'm using that term. They just seem very disinterested. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Pittsburgh defense is normally locked in, and maybe some of that has to do with Mika Fitzpatrick. Sometimes these leaders, bro. So you go from him to goofy ass Ramsey, and now Ramsey can play, and I ain't tripping,
right?
But he ain't the same type of leader.
Fair, yeah.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, hey, bro, some of those guys are probably scared of him. That's the type of dude and I'm not saying he's a prick or anything like that.
Yeah.
He just demands a certain difference.
Yeah.
Rams ain't that. Rams is leading the dominoes table, bro. You know what I'm saying? He go from the dominoes table to the spades table to the tonk table to you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's him, but that's how they've been playing though. So with that being said, and I know Flax ain't new to Pittsburgh.
Right.
But he is new to Cincinnati, and that preparation and study means everything to the NFL. A new quarterback definitely quarterback. A new quarterback is always going to have an advantage on a team because they're not really going to know what's happening. And I think that's what happened at Cincinnati. And two, Cincinnati sucks, and they really do. So the Jets, them putting all those points up, the Jets doing that,
right?
That was two literally bad teams trying to get out of the mud together, and one of them got out of the mud and left the other one to sink in the quicksand. You know what I'm saying?
Last 3 games, Jamar Chase has 38 receptions since they put Flacco in there for Browning. This Bengals team, after they beat Pittsburgh, I was thinking, okay, now the Bengals, like Joe Burrow, is going to have to start taking his rehab seriously because now they're 3-5. They are just a game and a half behind Pittsburgh. Baltimore, with their win over Chicago, they are now 2 games behind. The Browns are 2.5, but the Browns lose, Bengals lose, Steelers lose, Ravens win. And whereas Pittsburgh just a couple weeks ago looked like they are locked to win this division now, I don't know who the best team is in this division, but I think it's the weakest division in football. I would take the Patriots and Bills in the East. I would take the Colts in the South. The Jags, I think, are better than these teams. The Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs all are.
NFC South is always
okay. NFC South,
they're always terrible.
They are. The Buccaneers are 6-2.
Bad. We're not that bad.
Okay. The West has got, the NFC has Seattle, LA, San Francisco. So I think they're still good.
They're playing.
The North has Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. Playing. And the East has got the Eagles, the Cowboys, Commanders, and the now hapless Giants after losing Cam Scatterboo for the season.
They're still playing.
Okay, so maybe NFC South might be worse.
Okay, we're second to last.
Right.
And our conference is second.
And this is a team that came into the season with what I thought was going to be a damn good Steelers defense. They've got,
they're playing lazy,
okay,
bro.
You've got two of the better coaches, more respected coaches with Tomlin and Harbaugh in that division. The quarterback room coming into the season, you had Rodgers, you had obviously Lamar Jackson, and you had Joe Burrow. So three of the better quarterbacks. Rodgers, I know, is on the downside, but still three of the more respected quarterbacks. So he's played well this year, yes. And to think they're at this point now is surprising to me, where one of those teams has to win the division, and I don't know who the hell it's going to be.
I think it's going to be Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I think having Aaron, and I watched him closely last night.
Right.
And bro, he's going to be the difference. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that.
Right.
But getting past that first playoff wins that they win that they need, he's going to be the difference. Man, that dude is just a coach, bro. The things he does and the way he thinks, he's literally playing like it Madden on the field, bro.
Sure.
Like he knows everything. He anticipates it all, and it's going to help them. But our defense stinks, and that's been the tough thing about this whole conference. Like you can say they look bad. The Ravens look bad because of Lamar.
The defenses. Oh.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah.
I call Pittsburgh lazy because that's how they look.
Yeah.
The Ravens are bad.
They're injured. They've got a lot of injuries, but they're bad. Yes.
I don't. But this is why you got to call them bad. The same issues that we made excuses for them last year.
Right.
They're doing the same thing and even worse. They're just a bad defense for whatever reason.
Right.
And it looks weird because that's not them. That's why Pittsburgh, I say lazy.
Sure.
Because they don't look bad.
Right.
They just look lazy, bro.
If you look at Pittsburgh's schedule the rest of the way, I'm thinking 10 wins probably wins this division. 10 wins, I'm thinking. If they go 10-7, they're 4-3 right now. Just the fact the Ravens only got a couple of wins now, 10 wins probably gets the division. Here's Pittsburgh's schedule. They host Indy this week. Indy is no joke.
Right, Indy.
Okay.
Baller.
They're at the Chargers on a Sunday night.
Chargers can get them.
They host Cincinnati. The Bengals will be up for that one. So will Pittsburgh, hopefully. They're at Chicago.
Give them that one. I don't know about Chicago either.
Okay. Well, at Chicago on the road there. And a game in November. Rodgers knows how to win in Chicago, obviously. I mean, paternity test just came back, and Maury Povich said, yes, Aaron Rodgers is their daddy.
Caleb is so up and down,
yes.
Bro.
Okay. Then they host Buffalo. Then they're at Baltimore.
Depending on
if Lamar will be back. Okay. Then they host Miami. That should be a win. Then at Detroit. Not easy.
Not going to win.
At Cleveland. You never know with that one. You'd think they'd win.
They'll win.
And then their last game of the season, they're hosting Baltimore. So there's some losses in there still that are built in, we think.
It's some built-in losses for sure.
Okay. Built-in losses there. Now, I don't consider Cincinnati to be a real threat, at least until – tell me where they're at when Burrow gets back, if he gets back. But here is Baltimore's schedule now. Okay, they are at Miami on a short week this week, a Thursday night. They should win that one. At Miami, they should win.
If Lamar's back.
Even if Lamar's not back. Okay, let me ask you about that then. If you're the Ravens, looking now, if the Steelers are not 5-1, the Steelers are not or 6-1. They're not running away with this. They're right now, 4-3. Does that change your opinion? Like maybe we hold Lamar out one more week, thinking we can compete with Miami to make sure Lamar is all the way back with the extended time off, 10 days off before their next game after that. Do they hold off on Lamar because of the fact that the Steelers have lost the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. I think,
okay.
the pros are a little different, right?
Right. Yep.
Your battle is within your conference, right? So, the Steelers messed they can exhale because of what the Steelers bull jive last night, right?
Right.
Woo, we got another week on this.
Yes.
So
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
I'm not saying that's not out of the question.
It's one of 3 straight road games for Baltimore because then they're at Minnesota and at Cleveland. Should be able to win both those with Lamar, I would think.
With Lamar, yes.
Yes. Okay.
If he's a hundo,
yep.
If he's a hundo, he'll ignite the offense back. It's just that defense, bro. But neither one of those teams are going to do anything offensively against the Ravens. So
then they have 3 straight home games. They host the Jets. They host the Bengals on a short week on Thanksgiving night. Then they host Pittsburgh. Then they're at Cincinnati, host New England, not an easy game there, at Green Bay, at Pittsburgh, to end the season. So it's going to be tough for them to get to 10 wins. That's why I think if Pittsburgh gets to 10, if Pittsburgh can get to 10 wins, if they can win 6 of their last 10 games, I think that they win the division.
Like you said, bro, it's up in the air.
It
is.
I know.
And each of these teams have not they have not claimed their dominance like Indy.
Right.
The beauty of Indy, they're one of the solid teams this year. So I'm not saying they're the Super Bowl into the Super Bowl or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they have claimed their dominance in what they're good at and what's our identity.
Sure.
Pittsburgh hasn't done it.
Yeah.
The Ravens haven't done it.
No.
Cleveland can't do it.
Right.
Right. They're like the Rat Pack. Like they're like a comedy show. David Letterman, pick one of them.
Right.
And then Cincinnati, I think I'm a Joey fan. I'm a Joey Man Crush guy. But we've given more grace to Joey than anyone, and that's because he beat Pat Mahomes that one year.
Yeah.
Right. But to be totally honest with you, they haven't done any. He hasn't done anything. He hadn't done anything. He hasn't led his team to the promised land. And when I mean the promised land,
they lost the Super Bowl. Yeah, they got there and lost.
I don't mean the whole thing. I just mean you becoming a dominant team figure in your conference. Right. Right. So, or even your division.
But okay,
that hasn't happened.
But part of that, though, is, and I'm not making excuses for it here, but it's a golden age for quarterbacks in the AFC. When you got Mahomes and you've got Lamar Jackson, you've got Josh Allen, like that holy trinity there of quarterbacks right now. It's hard to stand out from that group.
No, it's not. Not if you stand it.
But he should stand out with the weapons he's got. The fact they got Higgins and they've got Jamar Chase there. Obviously, Higgins got 2 targets yesterday. Was it? He caught 1 pass, 44 yards.
And this is the deal. The other fellas aren't just standing out. They're when they win,
mm-hmm.
they're doing it. Like Josh is the same way. He's doing it, and he's standing out. Lamar, he's standing out and he's doing it. That's not what, and I'm not saying it's only on Joey,
right?
But what I am saying is, Joey, if it was the reversed,
mm-hmm.
Lamar would be trash.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
If it was reversed, there's something going on with Josh. They don't do that with Joey. Joey gets so much grace.
Well, look, the reason he gets it, a lot of it is one because of the magical college season he had his last year with LSU.
Absolutely.
Sitting there smoking the cigar and all of that, transfer from Ohio State to go there and doing that. Had one of the greatest all-time college football seasons ever.
He's the epitome of perfection.
And then the fact that he goes essentially home.
Come back to Ohio, bro.
It's like if Cincinnati does have the number 1 pick, I think the Burrow story is probably different. You know what I mean? Like if Burrow ends up getting drafted by, I don't know, say the Bears, it's a different Joe Burrow story. I say Joey. It's a different Joe Burrow story, though. I think that if he's not, I want to go home, I came from a poor community and all these things he does. I think a big part of his legend is because of the fact the Bengals, much like, look, the Bengals got lucky, the Cavs got lucky. Getting LeBron. LeBron's story is much different if he gets drafted by the Knicks or somebody else. It still might be great, but the fact he's did it with the Cavs and went there first, like that, it's just a different vibe, I think, if that's the case.
Yeah. But he gets that good grace, though, man. They love Joy. But again, it's based upon, but he has a storybook career, college and as well as the pros. But they give him, but a lot of it has to do with him beating Pat Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
they're giving him some extra go pass, collect extra $200, $400 once you in the Monopoly board.
Advance to boardwalk, right?
Oh, bro, they giving him extra credit for that one win,
right,
against Patty Mahomes. So Very interesting conference, bro. But, so what, what do you think about Miles
right?
flipping out on the sideline, bro? I want to know who he was staring at. He was looking at someone.
I couldn't tell either. Yeah, I don't know who he was looking at.
No one talked about it.
Look,
I was
man.
waiting on someone to say something. Like, man, he threw his helmet that way,
right?
And he turned and stared that way. He was looking at somebody, bro.
Look, Miles, to me, cannot complain about anything ever again.
Why?
Because he said, get me out of here. I want to play for championships. And then they threw the money at him, and he deserves it. And he said, never mind. Money's more important than the champion. And that's okay. That's all right. You can do that. You can say, but the fact you say first publicly you say, I don't want to be here. I want to win championships. And they said, how about this? I said, okay, championships aren't that important to me. He had 5 sacks yesterday, and they got their asses kicked. 5 sacks yesterday, and they got their asses kicked. That's what Miles Garrett signed up for.
I had to rewind. I saw the dude get mad. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
I saw him get mad.
Right.
And I heard him say 5 sacks.
Right.
The first thing I said was, shit, I'd be mad too if my quarterback got sacked 5 times. I had to listen to it again. I said, oh, he had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
I'm like, so he was out there balling.
Yes.
Yeah. But this is the deal too, bro. This is from an athlete's perspective.
Okay.
Mostly everybody wants to win.
Sure.
No matter what the business part of it looks like.
Okay.
I can't discredit him for saying that and believing he had to leave and then staying and taking the money. I still believe that someone's allowed to stay, take the money, and at the minimum think that your program's going to be competent. Generally.
Right. Generally, yes.
Now, you just like old school Bengals and new school Bengals to some degree.
Right.
You got to know that your front office stinks.
Yes.
And I think to a certain degree, the Browns have been given a pass here. Bro, think about their mishaps, bro. We can talk about so many of these mishaps,
right?
And then people still talk about how the coach got 2 coaches of the year.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's a reason for that. People are still giving him a pass for how he's handling this team,
right,
this year, and that has a lot to do with how. And I think I may not have told you, but I told someone, hey man, how you treat the least. Unless you're like a Miles or one of those guaranteed dudes, everybody's considering I could be that guy too. So how he has been handling, and that's personally, how he's been handling Shador, that has so much to do with the psyche of a lot of these dudes.
Right.
And that's what he's made this team a very transactional team. And these dudes is like, I'm going to get my money. And I'm not just talking about just Miles. That's how they think, bro. They're like, bro, I've seen dudes walk into a locker room, say, I'm going to get my money today.
Miles
Which
Garrett.
means I don't give a shit if we win or lose. I want my catches.
Right.
I want my tackles. I want my sacks. I want my yards.
The most beloved player of this new iteration of the Browns is Joe Thomas. He stayed there for years, set all kinds of consecutive snaps, records.
Ooh, Joe's a warrior.
Joe Thomas never sniffed a championship.
Ever.
Okay. And he's beloved. And I wonder if Joe Thomas has regrets about not saying, trade me somewhere where I can win, or not doing that. And with Garrett, because Garrett's such a great player, we are going to, as fans, when I say we, I mean the media, the fans, the public, all this, they're going to, look, the media and people like that, they don't care if Nick Chubb never wins a championship. They're not going to hold that against Nick Chubb. But with Garrett, when you talk about the greatest players of all time, and Garrett's one of them, it's going to be hung on him the way it hung on Thomas, the way it hung on Phillip Rivers, the way it hung on Phillip Rivers, the way it hung on Matt Ryan. Like, great player, never won a championship. And I look at it, and that's why I'm just surprised. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing if I were Miles Garrett. I might also say, you know what? Yeah, I'll take the money. But Miles Garrett should never have had faith in the Browns front office that they were going to put a good product on the field, a championship caliber product on the field.
Yeah, competence and stupidity. I think those are two. There's a lot of teams that make some stupid moves.
Sure.
Right? And then you got some programs that are incompetent.
Right.
And I believe that the Browns have gotten to the point where people are giving them the stupidity place as opposed to giving them what they deserve, and that's the incompetent space.
Okay.
And I do believe Miles may have thought, okay, they're going to get this together.
Right.
I believe they told me they're going to start making some smarter moves and such and such and such. And in theory, maybe they have, but they're still incompetent. They still haven't shown that they can do and say the right things. And yeah, Big Miles, I feel bad. I feel bad for him. Now I would also say this, Big Dog. Chips are different when you talk about basketball and football.
They are.
And depending on the position that you play.
They are, yes.
In basketball, this is my theory too. Y'all created LeBron.
Sure.
Y'all media people created LeBron.
Jordan 6-0 in the finals.
Bro.
Yeah, I know.
How dope you were as an NBA player.
Yeah.
Never had anything to do with rings.
Yeah, I know.
You got credit for your rings.
Right.
But in no way, shape, or form did someone say Tiny Archibald couldn't play.
Right.
Because he ain't had no rings. Or the Iceman wasn't cold.
Right.
Because he ain't had no rings. Man,
sure.
That stuff started to defend the LeBron becoming who they was like, ooh, this cat is really becoming who
right,
yeah. So how do we block that?
Right.
Man, you ain't got no rings.
Yeah. Finals 10 straight years, but whatever.
6,
yeah, right.
You ain't got 6 in a row.
Right. You're not 6-0.
You ain't got 6-0.
Yeah.
Like Mike. So that's where that's a basketball thing now.
Sure.
Where it's gross. It's gross to watch a dude go to a team just to get a ring, and then you give him credit for getting the ring.
Obviously Durant did it, but Karl Malone and Steve Nash went to the Lakers to try to get it and didn't get it done. Yeah, I'm with you. No, it's just, but like with Miles Garrett though, because Dan Marino's like the poster child for greatest player of all time to never win a ring. Like that's the one who usually gets brought up because he's a quarterback and because he put up such gaudy numbers. But Miles Garrett, I will say this, if he had made the decision he made without the Deshaun Watson debacle with the front office, if that had not happened, then I'd say, okay, I can see where he might. But the way the Browns traded all those picks and gave Deshaun Watson that guaranteed contract, that right there tells me that this front office has no freaking clue. And that's what's surprising about Miles Garrett. That like he might believe and they're going to turn around.
Yeah, but y'all be giving up. Now you're a Cincinnati fan, right?
No, I'm a Steelers fan. I grew up a Browns fan though. I grew up a Browns fan, but I'm a Steelers fan now.
Okay. Bro, see, people can't change, bro.
That's why. I get so much hell for that, by the way. Look, and I'll tell you this, and this story's been told all across Columbus media and stuff when I've done stuff. I get ripped by Browns fans. They call me a traitor. But what I say to them is, when the Browns left and came back, I couldn't get into them. Wasn't the same.
It's not the same team.
They broke up with me. I didn't break up with them. They moved on from me, and I went somewhere else.
You chose not to be a Ravens fan more than you ceased to be a Cleveland fan.
You want to piss Browns fans off? Call the Ravens the original Browns. Watch how pissed they get when you say that. Tell them that's the original Browns. They're the OBs.
They be mad all they want. It's the goddamn truth.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. But what were we saying?
The Watson thing, I said that if...
Oh, this is the deal.
Okay.
So, jeez. Sometimes it's like when I teach my kids, listen, man, you go to church, people say, man, God is with you. God must be with you. Why? Because things is working out for you. I'm like, that's the dumbest. So I can act the fool.
Right.
Things work out for me, and the Lord is with me.
It's because He's with you, right?
Man, God is with you in the intent of the choice that you make on the front end. It doesn't matter how it works out.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. At the time, the Deshaun Watson thing wasn't as bad as people think. The guaranteed money part of it, that's a business bad decision from a business bad decision. But that wasn't a bad contract. That wasn't bad for Deshaun and other people, because if he would have worked out, there wouldn't have been an issue. If he would have been 75% of what he was those first 3 years in Houston, wouldn't have been a problem. You see what I'm saying? But now that he wasn't, and the drama that came on the other end of it, it made the contract a problem.
But the whole reason Deshaun went to Cleveland was because of the money. He didn't want to go to Cleveland until they offered up all that guaranteed money. He wanted to go to Atlanta. Atlanta wouldn't give him that kind of money and bring him in like Atlanta. He's where he wanted to go was Atlanta originally. It's where he wanted to go. And so he went to Cleveland for the money. The same reason Miles Garrett stayed in Cleveland, because of the money. And I think when you look at other franchises in the NFL, sometimes money isn't what drives people there. Like Mahomes took less money to stay in Kansas City and also build a winner there. Reggie White, I believe, when he went from Philly to Green Bay, I think he took less money in that situation. Sometimes, if the only reason the guy is staying in a franchise is loyal to a franchise is because of the money, I understand it, but it also isn't the best thing always for the team as well, because they gave him $230 guaranteed. Other owners were pissed off about it, and he obviously didn't live up to it because all this stuff going on. And I'm with you. If he lives up to it, we're not having the conversation at all. It's not a big deal at all. But he didn't. And but the fact that Cleveland believed in him as much as they did is why I think Miles Garrett should have said, you know what, hang on. Let me think about this franchise before I do this, because I think Miles Garrett could be Micah Parsons right now in Green Bay and playing on a winning team with an organization that knows how to value its players and knows how to run an organization, or San Francisco or something like that. You know what I mean? Or hell, Pittsburgh.
Sometimes I know this is such a really dope, nuanced conversation, because sometimes at a certain amount of money, your happiness proceeds everything. And Miles could be one of those dudes, bro. He may have something for Cleveland. Right? If you think about it, Micah, they tried a power move that didn't work.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They did what the Tennessee homie did. Now they did the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Tennessee quarterback. He did the right thing. The Tennessee Volunteers guy, he did the right thing. He should have asked for more money. That doesn't mean they have to give it to you.
Sure.
But you were fine in asking for more money.
Right.
So Micah, bro, let's see, bro. I don't know how happy he is. I don't know how happy he's going to be. He's not a Green Bay guy. That's a very eclectic area.
But Green Bay loves him. I think the fans are embracing him.
But bro, he's doing the same thing in Dallas, bro.
Sure.
He needed Jerry to give him that money.
Yeah, I agree.
He needed Jerry to make that work, bro.
Yeah.
He would much rather be that. That's why Jerry. It's almost like Jerry knew that his superstar wife, perfect in all ways, was going to try to throw some divorce papers. He found out about it and divorced her first.
Right, I'll break up with you. Right, yeah, right. It's like the Browns did to me.
And at the last minute, she was like, you know what? I'm going to stick this thing out.
Yeah.
And then he comes and be like, Yakum. No, we're out of here.
We're done.
That's what would happen to Mika, and whatever the heck his name is.
Yeah.
So sometimes that quality of life, bro, is just different, bro. It's who knows why these cats make these decisions, but you're right. I think the Browns I knew they were the same Brad Brown decision when they actually drafted Baker.
Yeah.
Baker was not a number one draft pick. He was not a number one draft. And again, it's not how things end up. I said he was not a number one draft pick. He was an Ohio guy. He wasn't going to be embraced by Ohio because of the Ohio State stuff.
Yeah, the flag.
I would have never have took him.
Yeah.
And then I told everyone that draft. I said this is the dumbest colorism, still doing goofy stuff phenomenon. When Lamar Jackson, the most exciting player in the past 2 years, isn't even your fourth, isn't even the NFL's fourth choice at quarterback. That doesn't even make any sense.
The fact the Ravens traded up to get him in the first round and get the 5-year guarantee deal on him completely changed the trajectory of that franchise. Completely changed
it. Ozzy's such a G,
Ozzy,
bro.
I know.
That dude did stuff like that, but he find these dudes and these other clowns making these dumb decisions because they think they're smarter than everybody. Baker deserves what he's getting now.
Yes.
100. It's almost like the Trey Burke conversation.
Yeah.
The Columbus boy that went to Michigan.
Yep.
No, he should have been taking over Aaron Crap. No, he shouldn't have.
No.
If you say that, then you're taking away from the journey and how he busted his tail.
Yes.
And took a no Michigan team.
Yes.
And built them back up on his back.
Hey, the same way Baker had spent his entire career in Cleveland, he would not be Baker now. Same way Trey Burke went to Ohio State, he would not be what he was.
Nah, bro.
You know what I mean?
I think you're taking away from Baker. I'm still clowning these people. They're still mad at me because now I'm giving Baker. I didn't give him his props when he was in Cleveland. I give him his props now.
Yeah,
because he's not in Ohio. They're like, well, why? I say because he's not in Ohio.
Yeah,
I didn't care if he succeeded.
Right,
it's not my state after that bull crap he pulled.
Yep.
Man, you better get the heck up out of here, boy. Matter of fact, you should have paid Manning. You should have Eli Manning that joker. I ain't coming to Cleveland. Why? Did you see what I did?
It's Cleveland.
Did you see what I did to Ohio Stadium?
Yeah.
No, I'm not coming here. No, but yeah, we'll see. You know, hey, what do you think about what's my man Dylan?
Gabriel?
My Hawaiian, my Hawaiian stallion.
For Cleveland. Hey, look,
pineapple boy.
I noticed that the Saints benched Spencer Rattler in their game yesterday. I'm at a point now where I want to see Shador out there just because. I just want to see him out there.
I don't.
I want to see because I want to like the best thing maybe for Shador might be not to play right now, but
I do, but I don't.
I just want to know. I want to know.
I do, and I don't. This is why. Because they're not going to do good by the guy.
Yeah.
If I was them, I would stick with Dylan, let him suffer.
Yeah.
Develop him, and then if you're going to have a quarterback battle, then have the quarterback battle in this. But you know what's going to happen?
They're going to draft a quarterback.
They're going to. Well, that too.
Yeah.
They're going to let Shador play at some point.
Right.
He's going to look shitty.
Right.
And then everyone's going to say the kid sucks.
Yeah, right. See, right. That was it. All people say, see what I tell you. And how about the fact just the Browns suck? Hey, bro, you know what I mean? How about that?
When are we going to just say it? I'm waiting on someone to. And against was it Stefanski?
Stefanski, the head coach out there.
Where he gets his grace from?
Look,
that dude gets grace as if he's. Okay, check this out. He gets grace as if he's even made the playoffs, bro. It's crazy.
He did make the playoffs once. Did he make the playoffs one time where they lost to Pittsburgh, beat Pittsburgh, right?
Into the playoffs.
I know they did. I know. I'm with you. Yes, I know.
I'm talking about they was walking, had a stroke, fell forward,
right,
and their forehead went over the line into the playoffs. That's fair.
Bro. Yeah, you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
They've never made the playoffs because of him,
and he gets credit for it. I don't get it, but he's got hallelujah. We'll see.
He goes to church on Sundays, though. All right, that's it for us today. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. My man Jimmie Bell here to my left. Jimmy, where can people find you? Tell everyone.
I'm catching the Holy Ghost.
There we go.
Hey, you can check your boy out on all platforms, JIMMIE, because I don't know that Y guy. The know-it-alls, 9095 on the X. Until next time.
Yeah, fantasysports.com. Go check it out. Tito and Jimmy, we're with you later on this week. We'll do it again, folks. Thanks for tuning in.